Hey, it's Jim Parr here, and we're going to do something really cool today. We're going to talk about a tool called Replicate, and we're going to show you a few simple steps on how to create some really powerful thumbnails with AI and how you can do this easily. And we're even going to talk about how to generate money with AI. We're going to actually include, there's a link below to get this checklist that we have. And it's some of our top tools that we use and we recommend and that we use on a daily basis to create things. And it gives a step-by-step guide, copy and paste. And we're going to include some of our powerful prompts that we use also to generate money online. If you like, subscribe, and comment below, we'll get you this checklist. And then you just use the link in the description to go there and you'll be able to download this for free. But let's dive in to how to create these thumbnails to generate incredible traffic. I want to show you something real quick. So we were in the first part of the year here, we were only getting about 50 views a day, and now we're getting over 4,000 views every single day. So you can see the rise in here, and the channel's been around forever, but in our checklist we have a lot of different things on how to generate traffic. We've got a Discord group, and so we give you free tips, we give you resources. We're not trying to sell you any course or anything like that. We show you what software to use, you copy and paste it, and you get going. So let's go into Replicate and get this thing rocking and rolling. So don't overthink this. Replicate is basically a machine learning software that is online. It works with different platforms, like it runs models from Python and different things like this. You don't need to know any programming. You don't need to know how to do code or anything like that with Replicate. That's the beauty of this. It fine-tunes the models that you basically put in with ChatGPT. You'll put prompts in there, and it runs on an open source model. So basically, it's an open source software that anybody can use. There is a small fee for it. So one thing you do need to do is set up your billing for it. We'll walk through kind of how to set up your account and the billing, and then we'll go into the process of building the thumbnails. So first things first, go to replicate.com. I've got a link below for that, and you need to set up your new account. So you're going to go in. You need a GitHub account to log in. So that's super simple. You just go over to GitHub, set up a account in your GitHub, and then basically with that, once you have your GitHub, you can log in to Replicate. You're going to go into your account here, and you need to set up your account settings. So set up your profile, set up your billing, and basically just manage billing here by just entering a credit card, and then set a spending limit so you don't go over a certain amount. I've been using this for quite some time. I've only used $20, and that was because of training the model. So training the model takes $3 to $5 to train it. And so it's just a small fee up front, and then you pay very little money to use. Basically, you're using their APIs and their computers through the models. So it works really well. So let's walk through, because once we start going through this, it's going to be a lot simpler. But get your account set up with the link below, and then set up your billing. Make sure you've got a credit card in there, because you're going to need that. Otherwise, you're going to run into troubles with it, and it won't run because it'll be a few dollars to train the model. So let's talk about doing the training. So we're going to be using the Flux Dev Laura Trainer. So there's a link in the description below. You just click on that and it'll bring you right to this page here. So the first step that we need to do is go in here and we need to name our model. So we're going to create a new model, and I might just call this AI images. And then here's the one part that you need to do. It says to create a zip file with images in it. We recommend a minimum of 10 images, and if you include captions, include the text, or I'll show you what that means. So I created a folder of images of me, and they're just all different images that showed me pointing, showed me smiling, side shots, tough shots, mean shots, crazy shots. But you can see that I named them a photo of Jim. So I did a underscore photo underscore of underscore Jim underscore par. So that's what I did, because you want these to be in a consecutive order like this. It works the best if they're PNG files just like this. So I'm telling you this because I went through a few days of different things, testing, it wasn't working, and doing different things. Now the trigger word is going to be, you remember my image, basically you're going to upload this zip file in here that you create. And then it's really important to have the trigger words and write it down somewhere so that you remember it. If it's just your name, just do your name, first and last name. And what I do is just basically make the name exactly like the images in the zip file. So mine is Jim underscore par. And then just leave these alone. You don't need to mess with any of those settings right there. And then in the photo, we're going to go ahead and upload this file, this zip file in here. And one thing, if it asks you, it didn't ask us back here for some reason. Let me just look. Let me just put that in there again. AI images. So here we go. I'm just going to select private because it's just for us to use. We don't want the public to see. And if the public is able to use it, then they can take your photos out of here and your caption or your trigger word and use that. So we're going to go ahead and run this model, and it's going to take about 20 minutes to 25 minutes. It varies, but just let it do its thing, and you're going to see it working over on the right here, and we'll come back once it's trained. Okay, so we've got our model all trained up here, and now it's time to run it. So we know that everything worked. It trained the model, and all the files and photos are here. You can see basically it trained all the images that we put into it. It trained it and described it. It's pretty cool to watch it go through and label the images. It reads them, so it'll say like their goatee, wearing a suit, different things. So it knows basically what it is. It reads it, green shirt, looking angry. So it's really cool how it actually runs through that. So we're going to go ahead and run this trained model, knowing that it succeeded and it was successful. So we'll go ahead and run this model. So with this, basically ChatGPT or any Claude works good with it as an AI tool to create those prompts. Of course, if you grab that checklist, we're going to have some of those prompts in there. And not only that, we'll leave this prompt that we're going to create right now so that you can run your first model, and we'll put it down below in the description. So we're going to go over to ChatGPT. And we're just going to tell it to basically, I created this right here, generate a prompt. Let me just put it down here. Generate a prompt of Jim Parr. You're going to have to redo this, the name, but I put the name as we labeled it in the AI as for that upload, that zip file. And I just put, you could just put being happy and amazed, create in the thumbnail, easily use an AI, and it'll generate something like that. But I added in a little bit more descriptive in here with a handsome bald man wearing a black ball cap backwards with Nashville on the hat. And I could say Nashville embroidered. On the hat, happy and amazed, creating the thumbnail easily with AI. So let's go ahead and see what this does here. And it's going to spit out a prompt for us, and we'll be right back in just a couple seconds. Okay, it's spitting out the prompt here, and it's big smile expressing happiness, amazement. So this should be interesting. We'll see what this does. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to bring it over into replicate, and we're going to drop it into this prompt here. So one thing I need to change right away, remember that trigger word is your name, exactly how you had it listed. So mine was Jim Parr Jim Parr. So I added that in there. Just read through it, make sure it's all good. We're going to talk about this image file. Aspect ratio for a thumbnail is going to be 16:9, but you can set that aspect ratio to whatever you are working with, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever it might be. Leave these alone because the width and height is basically on that aspect ratio. The prompt strength, I never mess with that. And the number of outputs is how many of these do you want to kick out? We'll say 3. So it'll kick out 3 different images. And then the important one is what format. So the output format. And basically that's all you need to do. And we're going to run this and see what it does. And we can see it kicking out here, getting ready to query this. And then it'll go ahead and start spitting out the image. It just takes maybe 30 seconds to, but you can see right here, it knows the prompt. It's gathering the photos that we named earlier. So it's going ahead and going in there, and it should be fun to see what it kicks out here. So with amazement and smiling, and with the computer screen in front of them, there is Jim Parr. I'm not impressed with the font on the hat, but that's no big deal. This one's probably a little bit better. That one's a little over the top. And this one doesn't look too bad. The text looks good. And you could put some font in here, and you could even tell it to put some font in here. But if you want to save these, just go ahead and download them. You're paying for them, so you might as well go ahead and download the images. But you can click on them, see what they look like, and then if you want to add in there an additional prompt in there, we can go back up here and tell it to add some text. And we want to be specific about this text. So we might say bright floating text. So I'm going to say bright floating text. Let's see, we probably want to name the color of it. Let's just, I'm looking at some of my prompts here, and I would say, we'll say white text. I'm not sure if that's the best color. And then thumbnail with AI. Let's just see what it does. I'm going to go down here and I'm just going to tell it to output 2 of them, just so that we can see if that does it. But we can even go, and I accidentally have a capital H there. Probably should have done that all in capitals. But we'll see what it outputs, and we can even go back into ChatGPT and redo that so that we get that font in there the way the AI likes to be prompted for the text. So this is what it did here. That one's actually pretty good, thumbnail with AI. I like that a lot. So I'm going to show you in ChatGPT real quick. So you can generate the prompt to do glowing is the big thing. That's green, blue. Let's do bold blue and white glowing text thumbnail with AI and see what this prompt gives us. It didn't like that just because something's going on there. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this. Sometimes you will get issues with ChatGPT. Sometimes you just got to reset, and we'll go and reset it and see what it kicks out. So that always solves the issue. I don't like to pause my computer during issues. I like to walk through them with my students. And so this is going to be interesting to see what this kicks out. So let's go back. We're going to replace this prompt, copy and paste. And then we just want to go in here and put our trigger word. And of course, I did say handsome. Look how big my eyes are. Wow, that's interesting. So we're going to go ahead and kick that out, and we'll see how that turns out. So there it is. That's what it did, and I'm not a fan of it. I like this one, but I like the other ones better. I'm going to show you something really cool on how you can take a thumbnail from somebody else and then basically do the same process and spit that out as your own. So I like to gather some images that like thumbnails that are popular. I do a lot of research on channels, and you always want to do what's trending, what's good. So let me show you a little trick here. So we're going to take that prompt out. We're going to go find a thumbnail and in YouTube. So we'll look at this channel. I like these thumbnails because he's got a ton of views. He said the same industry as me, and it just looks really good when you look at some of these. So I look at the ones that have been up the least amount of time and that have the most views. So let's look at this one is pretty good. Basically a face with a thumbnail. That'd be an interesting one to do. And then training needs, this is thumbnails. So we could actually take this one and try this one out, even though it doesn't have the amount of views, but it's in the same niche that we want to do. So let's take this, and I'm going to show you how to grab this thumbnail. So basically you click on the video.
So what I'm going to...
And then you go up and grab the URL. I know you can't see that right now. And then we're going to use a tool that is basically a YouTube grabber. This is one of the thumbnails we grabbed earlier. But basically you put the URL in there, and then there it is. So all we got to do is save this, and then we're going to bring it into Replicate. So we'll save that there, and then we'll go back to Replicate, and we're going to add this in down in images, because we want to basically take and get something similar to what that one is. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that in. And we got to go back to pictures and thumbnail. And there it is. So we're going to bring this in, and it'll load it right in here. So there it is. And then we're going to tell it to basically generate a prompt. And I'm going to use a prompt that I used earlier and just modify it a little bit. So we're going to create a thumbnail. We could just tell it to generate a thumbnail that's similar to that, or we could analyze this thumbnail. Let me just show you how you analyze that in ChatGPT really quick. Basically analyze this thumbnail image and provide best prompt with amazement and excitement. So we're going to go ahead and grab that image. We're going to upload it in here. It's amazing what you can do with AI these days. So we'll go ahead and analyze and provide the best prompt. So let's see what it says. We'll try it this way first, and then we'll try it the other way. So it's saying it's futuristic. So it should be interesting when we bring it into Replicate. So one thing we do have to do, we have to change this, because it's going to take basically me and make me with hair and everything else. And I don't want to do that. So I'm telling it to do what we want it to do. Let's see, handsome bald man, handsome bald man, Jim Parr. So we'll put that in there. And then we'll put black framed glasses, because I usually wear that. Confident smile. Blue eyes, we'll say brown eyes. And then behind the blurred thumbnails, futuristic thumbnails appears, and we'll see what it kicks out. So we're going to leave this in here. You know what? I'm going to take that out and see what it does, and then we'll try it with it and see what it does. So we'll do number of outputs too. And just remember that when you're doing these, it's just like maybe 5 cents, 7 cents a piece for each of these images. You can't have thumbnails made for that. So there you go. There it is. That's me. Again, the font on the hat, I wouldn't recommend it. I think I had Forex on my hat, and that's why it's pulling that off. This one's pretty cool, and I would put a couple of thumbnails on each side of this. So we're going to download these, but then we're going to take this And we're just going to take all this out of here. And then, let's see, looking directly, you could say slightly right, looking slightly right. And then we'll go ahead and drop that image in and see what it does with that in there. So all I did is describe what we wanted in there, and now we're going to see what it kicks out on the final. So there's different ways to go about this. And so you want to take things and generate them the way you want. So these turned out pretty cool. It's crazy because it makes me look old here, and it's got like faces in there. This one's pretty good. I would use this. So anyways, that is the way that you can generate thumbnails. There is another way called Hugging Face that you use some tokens, set up a Hugging Face account, but I don't recommend it. This worked out really good. I tried the other process and it took, after a few days, I gave up on it just because of the deployment of it, and you need to know Python and different things like that. So hope you enjoy this and creating some viral thumbnails.